Evening, good afternoon, good night, whatever time it is, wherever you are. Thank you for joining me for another episode of Sodukos Spotlights. Today's episode, we are looking at Wargroove Double Trouble DLC edition. No, it's just called Wargroove. The Double Trouble is DLC that was released post-launch, which I love. It was super fun. So before we get too far into it, there's a comparison I would like to make. This game is a lot like Advance Wars. Feels heavily inspired by Advance Wars in the way it's laid out and plays and everything. But instead of being tanks and soldiers and things like that, you got more of a high fantasy vibe with archers and mages and dragons and things like that. The game modes are story, there is a puzzle mode, there's multiplayer, both local and online, and then there's actually what is super cool in my opinion, custom content where you can go in and do your own maps and campaigns, or you can pop online and you can actually go and browse and download all kinds of different maps, campaigns, unique little mini games even. Like one of the first ones I saw get hyped up was there was like a Wargroove chess. So yeah, all kinds of neat stuff. Always new maps for you to play. And if you don't like those ones, you can make your own. Instead of jumping into story where I would kind of give away things and spoil it for you, I'm just going to jump into a versus match against the bot. There is up to 4-player maps, and then, oh yeah, there's Chess Crew right there. These are some of the downloaded maps that I have. Just pick one here. Sure. Well, nah. That one doesn't have a good variation. Sure. So you get your settings for the map. This is going to be a versus. All the multiplayer ones seem to be versus. Come in here and you pick your commander. Each commander gets a unique ability, which is stated there beside their picture. They're quite varied. They're very useful. I like everybody. Personal favorite is Koji. He gets 2 little sparrow bombs. And this is actually the main bad guy, so we'll make it him.
Valheim rises.
Just gonna turn down the volume a little bit here. Sorry about that. Okay, so your commander actually spawns in on the map. This is Koji here. And that guy's down here. You can win one of 2 ways. You can either kill the commander or defeat the commander, or you can destroy the HQ building, which is these fancy looking buildings. There's neutral buildings which are marked in gray. Your faction is your color. You get to pick that when you start in the multiplayer map. When you're playing the campaign, I think you default to red. The different buildings like this one or this one are actually, and this one, they're like factories or airports. They're where you will recruit new units. So I'll just quickly give you a rundown of the units that we have available. It's the Line Blade, which is your basic infantry. You got your Shiva, which is a faster mover, scout kind of character. You got Honor Guard, which are spearmen. They're great against cavalry mounted enemies. Wagons are like armored transport characters, or carriers, pardon me. Thunderbear is your mage, but he's also a very effective anti-air, and he's able to heal your allies, so he's very versatile, very useful to have these guys on the board. Hawkbows are your basic range units. They use bow and arrow. These are your cavalry. They have bonus damage when they move 6 spaces or more. When they move 6 spaces and attack, they do bonus damage, pardon me. Ballistas and trebuchets are both range weapons, but as you can see, critical hit at min range, critical hit at max range. So they have different uses, plan accordingly. And then, the same as like Advanced Wars had their Neo tanks, this has, depending on what character you are, what faction you are, you have different ones. This one's called Oni. Some people get golems, etc., etc. I think the green guys get Trents even. But on the right hand, you can see what each thing is and how it has that little icon. The icons then tell you the rock, paper, scissors, or what they're effective against, and then what they take more damage against. So yeah, it's up to you to decide how to spend the gold you get. You get gold by having the villages captured. At the beginning each turn, you'll get gold based on the number of villages you have captured. So we'll move our commander down here, and we'll move this inventory over here because we'll want to go capture after. We'll make just another inventory for now. That's the end of my turn. Enemy goes, or player 2 if you're playing co-op or versus. Capture this building, so next turn we'll make more money, more gold per turn. Capture this one, so we'll make more gold. We'll keep the commander back instead of pushing him up so he doesn't get attacked.
Anyone home?
So these animations by default play on everything, so if the inventory were to capture, it would show them capturing. I have it set so that only commander animations play, but there's quite a few options for you. I won't dive into that right now, but you do have options to kind of customize the flow and feel of the game for you. Same way that when we were loading into the map, that you could see the different ways you could customize the specifics for the level we were loading into, like the fog of war and starting money and things like that. Very much you can customize to make it more fun for yourself. So he was smart and put his skull dog in the woods here so that the cavalry can't roll up on him. But we're going to take the cavalry around the back way. So this is going to be a harbor. We'll take a look at the naval units on our next turn. We'll actually save our money. Yeah, we'll save our gold, and we'll get something better. Maybe we'll get like a long ship or whatever. So I can't. I love Wargroove. I've played a lot of Wargroove. It nailed this style of game. Like back in the day, I loved Advanced Wars from the first time I played it, and I played it a lot on my Game Boys back then. And Wargroove, like, it's been something like 10 years since the last Advanced Wars game. So like when I found Wargroove, it was just love at first sight. It just was everything I wanted. It's my favorite style. Like, I love this style of strategy games, and it's just, you don't have to worry about the base building side of things. You don't have to, so much worry about resources. You kind of just, you vie for position and territory, and you play the rock, paper, scissors, and you use your units with intelligence is like the best way to say. And capitalizing, like, when and how to use your super the most effective way. Like, those are the things that matter most. I will, in that sense, I will warn you guys that the puzzles are hard. Like, bring your thinking caps if you're gonna try and do the puzzles in this game, the puzzle maps, because they're tricky. Alright, so we got the barge, which is just a transport unit. It can take ground units. We got the kappa, who is basically just the infantry for the naval units, so he can swim out and capture those buildings that are gray floating out in the water there and capture our airport for us. This is kind of your main naval fighting unit. It says critical hit when in deep sea. Anywhere it's dark blue here instead of this light blue is going to be deep sea, so that's where he'll get critical hits, and that's why he's more of a naval only unit. You can also see he's only effective against naval units. He can't actually attack ground units, so that's another reason for me saying that. Harpoon ships are actually ranged, so they can attack on to land from the ocean, which makes them super effective. And same with these warships. They're very effective against ground units, and they don't take return fire, which is super handy. We actually want to grab a Kappa so they can go start capturing for us. And we'll spawn in a Thunder Bear Mage just so you can see how that goes. I'm not going to play the full match out, simply because matches can take a long time depending on how aggressive you want to be and how much like you want to capture. Because like, for example, I could have already spawned a wagon and been like rushing down trying to like scoop by to take out the HQ kind of thing. Like you develop your own strategies and your own play styles, obviously, but this dog just bit my mage that I just spawned. Let's go, Kenko! Let's see if I can drop the heal here. Yeah. Now he's healed. Keep moving this guy down. The little streams like this, the infantry can cross, no problem, so... And then this would be, the naval guys capturing that. So that's how it plays out, guys. I really wanted to put you onto Wargroove in case you didn't know about it or hadn't heard about it, especially if you're an Advanced Wars fan or even a Fire Emblem fan. Like, if you're a fan of those style of games, this is one that you need to put on your radar. If you like the video, smash that like button. Please share the video. That helps us grow the channel. And turn on notifications if you want to catch us when we do this live. Thanks, guys. Have a good one.